Good evening. On the World News tonight, first the headlines. Senate President Akpabio announces Tinubu's ministerial list. NLC's planned protest is to rescue Nigerians, Ajaero insists. Subsidy removal. Yobe government distributes palliatives to 500 vulnerables. Court rejects DSS suit to prolong Emefiele's detention. And on sports, on a victorious note, Nigeria Super Falcons beat Australia to top Group B. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. The news in detail. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has read President Bola Tinubu's ministerial list on the floor of the Senate. Information report that the list included former governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, and presidential spokesman, Dele Alake. Chief to staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, presented the list to Senate President Godswill Akpabio at exactly 1:19 p.m. Akpabio then read the list of the 28 nominees. The full list of nominees are as follows: Abubakar Momo, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tukur CON, Ak Ahmed Dengiwa, Barrister Anatu Musawa, Chief Uche Naji, Dr. Bate Edu, Dr. Dauris Aniche Uzoka, H.E. David Umahi, H.E. Nyesom Wike, Badaru Abubakar CON, Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai, Right Honorable Ekperikwe Epo, Honorable Nkiru Onye Jiocha, Honorable Olubumi Tunji Ojo, Honorable Stella Okoteke, Honorable Uju Kennedy Oaneye, Mr. Bello Mohammed G, Mr. Dele Alake, Mr. Latif Fagbemi-San, Mr. Mohammed Idris, Mr. Olawale Edu, Mr. Wa'id Adebayo Adelabu, Mrs. Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, Professor Ali Pate, Professor Joseph, Senator Abubakar Kyari, Senator John Eno, Senator Sani Abubakar Daladi. Moving on to the next story. The Nigeria Labour Congress NLC on Wednesday said its protest scheduled to commence in 7 days is aimed at liberating Nigerians from the shackles of government policies which have caused citizens pain. This followed an earlier 7-day ultimatum by the NLC to President Bola Tinubu's administration to reverse all anti-poor policies, including the hike in the price of petroleum motor spirit, PMS, known as petrol. Moments later, the NLC President Joe Ajaero made an appearance on television during which he noted that the union was still analyzing the situation with the possibility that the government policy could further plague already dire conditions. The situations will be worsened. It is rather a move to rescue Nigerians to see whether the government can show some level of empathy for us to do things differently to enable Nigerians to survive, he said. Governor Mai Malabuni's palliative program began with 500 people living with disability to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy. Dr. Mohammed Goje, the Executive Secretary, Yobe Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, disclosed this while flagging off the program on Thursday in Damaturu. Goje said Buni directed the agency to review its stocks availability and start responding to the light of most vulnerable category of people in the state. Following our review, we ascertained that the most vulnerable at the moment are people living with disabilities, because they are the ones that go out to beg or do some menial jobs in order to put food in the table, he said. Goje said that each beneficiary would go home with 10 kg of rice, 12.5 kg of beans, maize, 10 kg, spaghetti, salt and seasoning. An FCTI court sitting in Maitama has struck out an application secretly filed by the Department of State Services to secure an order to detain the suspended former governor of the central bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, for a further 14 days based on what they refer to as fresh evidence they have uncovered. The application, which was marked FCT/HC/M/12105/2023 and aired by Justice Hamza Muhazu, was quietly filed on Thursday by the lawyers from the agency and came up before the vacation judge today. The judge struck out the application for being an abuse of court process and for lack of jurisdiction. When the judge questioned counsel to the DSS, Victor Ejelono, on the court's jurisdiction in view of the provisions of Section 293 and 296 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which vests exclusive rights on the magistrate court to grant detention order, the council applied and withdrew the matter. It seemed what the DSS did was an attempt to use the court to legalize what the service did in Lagos, where they abducted Mr. Emefiele from the custody of the Nigeria Correctional Service. This application followed the rearrest of Mr. Emefiele from the premises of the Federal High Court in Lagos by the security agencies, where he was remanded in the custody of the Correctional Center, pending the perfection of his bail, which was granted by Justice Nicholas Oweibo. Meanwhile, condemnation and outrage trailed the filing and filing of the expertise application by the DSS before the FCT High Court, seeking an order to detain the suspended former governor of the CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, for a further 14 days. Abuja-based constitutional lawyer Nnamdi Mba, in his reaction, said, "You cannot be charging someone to court, yet you cannot obey the same court. What the DSS is doing is tantamount to intimidating the court." The Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetekun, has ordered the immediate withdrawal of the Police Mobile Force (PMF) from 37 squadrons across the country. This comes a month after the acting IGP announced plans to withdraw police personnel, specifically PMF, from VIPs across the country. In a police signal dated July 26, obtained by the Whistler, the commanders of the affected squadrons were given 2 weeks to execute the task. The signal was signed by a Compol Moba, a senior officer from the rank of the Commissioner of Police (CP), upwards on behalf of the AIG Mopol FHQ Abuja. According to the wireless message issued at about 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the withdrawal is to enable the mobilization of personnel for the Specialized Quick Intervention Squad, proposed by the IGP to tackle growing concerns of insecurity in Nigeria. The affected squadrons include Mopos 1 Kaduna, 3 Enugu, 4 Ibadan, 5 Benin, 6 Meduguri, 7 Sokoto, Jos 8, 9 Kano, 10 Bauchi, 11 Calabar, 12 Mina, 13 Makurdi, 14 Yola, 15 Ilorin, 16 Abeokuta, Akure 17, Owerri 18, and 19 is Port Harcourt. Seven soldiers and 22 farmers were killed in a gunfight between troops of Operation Adarindaji and bandits near Kango Garuchi in Dangolbi district in the Maru local government area of Zamfara state. While some of the residents were killed after they were trapped while walking on their farmlands, some of them were caught in a crossfire between soldiers and criminals. The attack was led by one Ali Kawojo, Damina, and another bandit leader called Black. Black has enslaved the majority of the farmers in the area, as he frequently asked them to work on his farmland, said a resident, Sani Baba. The spokesman of Operation Adarindaji, Captain Ibrahim Yahya, could not be reached for comments at the time of filing this report. Meanwhile, troops of Section 1 of in conjunction with troops deployed at Forward Operating Base (FOB) Wenke in Gusau LG have killed at least 7 bandits. The commander of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Adarindaji, Major General Godwin Mutkut, commended the troops for their bravery and resilience in dealing with the bandits. He said the troops carried out the ambush operation along the road suspected to be used by bandits. Shortly after the encounter, troops proceeded in pursuit of other fleeing bandits, recovered 1 machine gun, ammunition, and 6 motorcycles, he said. In Bauchi, bandits killed the village head of Kada village in Ningi local government area, May Angwa Ali, and 5 others. Armed bandits have invaded the Abuja residence of the former People's Democratic Party (PDP) Board of Trustees (BOT) Chairman, Senator Walid Jibrin. The bandits who invaded and ransacked the residence asked the occupant to produce a sum of 5 billion naira, arms and ammunition allegedly hidden in the house. Information learned that the bandits invaded Jibrin's residence and with sophisticated weapons as they ransacked the building in search of the former PDP BOT chairman. When they entered, as the information revealed who was away on a journey, they however carted away valuable items and vital documents. Addressing newsmen in Kaduna, Senator Jibrin said some suspected bandits kidnappers forcefully entered his rented house at Brains and Armors Estate, Abo 3 FCT Abuja, vandalized his main bedroom and went away with vital documents. According to him, They tied up his houseboy Awolu and told him that they came to take away 5 billion naira hidden by me and also take away some so-called ammunitions kept by me. But unfortunately, they found nothing at all. The bandits, numbering 8, came with about 7 sport utility vehicles with sophisticated ammunition. And I have since reported the matter to the Inspector General of Police, who directed the Commissioner of Police, Federal Capital Territory (FCT), to handle the matter. The CP is still investigating the case. One person identified as Igwe Omeli was said to have been shot dead during a clash between rival courts at the popular Eke Oka Market in Oka South local government area of Anambra State on Wednesday. Information gathered that the victim was killed in crossfire while members of the rival court groups were engaged in a supremacy battle over the control of the market. The deceased was suspected to be one of the leaders of the Aye Court group in the market. A source in the market who spoke on condition of anonymity for security reasons confirmed to correspondent on ground that it was a clash between the Baga and the Aye Court groups in the market. Information also reports that the clash is related to market politics, but the man killed was the person they always use in terrorizing us to come with certain agenda. Anytime the leadership wants to enforce any agenda, he is the person and others they used. The Baga Court group members were pursuing Omeli and Iran into the market to mobilize his boys to rescue him, and unfortunately for him, before his boys could get the information, they killed him and caught his male organ. In case you're just joining, you are watching the world news from BGI TV Correct. Now, the foreign story. Niger Republic's Army Command on Thursday declared support for a coup instigated the previous day by soldiers of the Presidential Guard, saying its priority is to avoid destabilizing the country. In a statement signed by the Army Chief of Staff, it said to preserve the physical integrity of the President and his family and avoid a deadly confrontation that could create a bloodbath and affect the security of the population. President Mohamed Bazoum and Foreign Minister Hassan Massoudou earlier urged democratic forces in the country to resist the power grab, as Western officials said the status of the coup attempt was unclear. In a late-night televised address, the soldiers said that Bazoum had been stripped of power and the Republic's institution had been suspended, marking the 7th coup in West and Central Africa since 2020. The court of the presidential palace in the capital Niamey with the president inside. Mr. Bazoum, in a social media posting on Thursday morning, vowed to protect and warn democratic reigns in the country, that he is a pivotal ally for Western powers helping fight an insurgency in the Sahel region. Mr. Massoudou also called on Democrats and patriots to make the attempted coup fail, according to a posting on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Lastly, on sports. Nigeria's Super Falcons on Thursday defeated Australia 3-2 in a 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup tie at the Suncorp Stadium. Emily Van Egmond scored for Australia in the first half before Uchenna Kanu equalized for Nigeria before half-time. In the second half, Osinachi Ohale and Azizat Oshoala both scored for Super Falcons, while Alana Kennedy scored a consolation goal for Australia in the late hour. The result means Randy Wardrum's side now tops Group B with 4 points from 2 games. Nigeria is ahead of Canada, which sits in 2nd position, and Australia in 3rd position. The Republic of Ireland is in 4th position with no points. The Super Falcons will now face Ireland in their last group game next Monday. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's World News from BGI TV Current. Before we go, some headlines. Senate President Akpabio announces Tinubu's ministerial list. NLC's planned protest is to rescue Nigeria, Ajaero insists. Subsidy removal, Yobe government distributes palliative to 500 vulnerables. Terrorism charge, court reject DSS suits to prolong Emefiele's detention. And on sports, Nigeria Super Falcons beats Australia to top group. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Good evening.